Hey everybody, Referral AstartesGaming here, back with another first look video. This time we're going to be checking out King of Dragon Pass. So I went a little bit overboard during the Steam sale this last week. Hopefully you guys did too, or I don't know, maybe you didn't. But I picked up a few games that I would be interested in playing on the channel. This would obviously be one of them, so I'm going to show it off to you guys. I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't have time to do more of these types of videos while the sale was still going on, so that you guys could, take a look at these and take advantage of kind of knowing what the game is like and pick it up on sale as well. But there will be other Steam sales, so if you like this game or anything else I play, obviously there is still a chance to get them on sale at some point. But yeah, so this game is very interesting. I've played a little bit of it just to kind of get my bearings. But it's a very unique game. It sort of combines like a choose-your-own-adventure with a strategy game, and I found that pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and jump in. You can only have one playthrough going at a time, so we're going to be playing a little bit of my current personal playthrough that I was doing just to kind of learn the game. So we won't be picking up from the beginning, obviously. We'll be kind of not exactly like deep into the game, but I've played for about an hour, so let's go ahead and dive in. So the game takes place in this series of menus, the default screen being the clan screen. The reorganize button is sort of how you set up your clan, and a lot of this stuff is based on decisions I made earlier in the game. When you start out the game, it basically takes you through a series of little tidbits of lore, I guess. This game has very interesting lore, by the way. And you make decisions based on what they tell you, and that sort of develops your clan. Mine is a balanced clan. You can be warlike or peaceful. The reorganize button will also let you swap in and out your circle, who are basically your counselors. This will tell you your current morale. And then within your clan you have two major groups. You have the farmers, and then you have the weapon thanes. And the weapon thanes are professional soldiers, basically. So the weapon thanes usually reflect the military views of your clan, where the farmers are more the general populace. There's also the option to have feasts to boost that. You can give gifts. If you click on these guys, they'll give you generic tips. So Lycan here basically is telling me that both groups are satisfied. If I click on Colbrast here, he's letting me know that Elmal is our most important deity. Our traditions are weakened because Lycan doesn't have a personal relationship with him. Lycan worships a different god, and you can see which god they worship primarily in their bottom right portrait thing. So I basically have, I don't think one of each, but pretty close. And then we've got Asborn here, who is suggesting that I add a different character to the ring. Basically, he's saying that as a trickster, this guy would be useful because I could blame stuff on him and get away with it easier. He's saying that because we have a lot of men on the council, that will have better virility. Let's see, she, I think that's a she, could be a he, is letting me know that people are healthy. He's just giving me general advice, and he wants me to reorganize as a war clan. I don't really want to do that. And then you've got the farming tab here. This just sort of lets you balance out your farming production, I guess. You can slaughter animals, cattle, horses. You probably don't want to be slaughtering your horses, because that allows you to recruit more soldiers, as I'll show you in a second. Got the magic tab. This also works as like the religion tab, and so these are the different deities, as you could tell by the header there. These indicate the level of worship that you have with them, and so Barnsar, Elmal, Ernalda, Humacht and Orlanth are the deities that we are currently worshipping. And then you may notice that they're slightly different icons here. That's because I have second tier buildings for these guys. So you can see this is like a little shack, and if I click build, we've just got the 1 tier. If we look at Elmouth, for example, we've got 2 tiers and the option to build the 3rd if we want. It's going to cost me 100 goods though, and I only have 116, so I'm not going to do that for a while. The advantage to building those up is every deity that you worship gives you a little bonus. And so for the 1st tier, you get to choose 1 permanent blessing. With the 2nd tier, you get to choose 2. And so with the 3rd, obviously, you get to choose 3. However, not all of these are unlocked. You have to do quests and make sacrifices to learn the mythos behind these guys, and then do the quests in order to earn their favor. And that will give you access to all of these. So you can see these are grayed out. Whereas like with him, I've got 3 out of the 4 available. So yeah, you can kind of pick and choose who you want to follow, which bonuses you want to go with. And yeah, obviously your people's opinions will vary because some of them prefer certain deities to others. Relations is sort of your diplomacy tab. You can click these and it will let you know. For example, the Arnoring, they're known for their unrelenting hatred of the Pharaoh. Their chief is Fedarkos. They're in the Kalimar tribe. They owe us a favor. So just a brief little thing there. You can send an emissary to carry out various diplomatic goals. So I can demand tribute, give gifts, propose an alliance. I can ask for cattle, ask for food, ask for info, or ask for magic. That would cost me my favor though. And then depending on who you send, these guys all have different stats. So for example, he is very good, well, no, he's excellent at bargaining, whereas this guy here is only good at bargaining, but he's very good with customs, magic, and plants. And obviously the deity that they worship might come into play as well, because if you're dealing with a clan that favors one deity, you're probably going to want to send a diplomat who's also favoring that deity. You can bring items to trade or to give as gifts, and this just lets you choose who you want to do it. The cabbage ducks are literally ducks. It's pretty funny, and I love the artwork for this game, by the way. So yeah, that's the relations tab. The trade tab is very similar, except you're sending caravans to basically trade goods rather than give as gifts or haggle with. So I can say, why don't you go to the cabbage ducks and sell some cattle and buy some horses? Or I can try to establish a trade route that will net me yearly gains rather than having to make specific deals. I have 3 right now. I'm working on a 4th with the gray dogs. And then the war tab, this is where all your actions, your warlike actions are going to be taking place. You can do cattle raids, which are just like sneaky little missions to steal cattle from other people. Or full-on raids, which are attacks. You can fortify your I don't know what to call it. your little village, I guess. Village is probably the most accurate term. So yeah, you can fortify. I have 4 of the 6. These 2 are expensive and they cost quite a bit of goods. I don't even have enough to do the stone wall. The stockade I could do, but I'd be pretty broke. This is where you also recruit weapon thanes. I can have up to 20 right now, so I've got 16. So let's do like 2 more. So you basically just choose 2. You can sort of sweeten the deal if you want. I haven't really found a reason to do that yet. I usually just do this one. Actually, I don't know. Okay, apparently you can do that. I guess if you're really desperate. So for example, when I do this one, it's going to pull from my farmers. Whereas if I did like that, it wouldn't cost me any farmers. but my farmers may not like that, or my weapon things might not like that because they're outsiders. This one I haven't found any use in doing, and I probably won't do it just because that's kind of expensive. So yeah, let's recruit 2 of those guys. So they promoted to farmers. And oh, we get an event. So these will happen periodically. I think during your first playthrough, or at least the first year of your first playthrough, they're scripted, and from then on they should be random. So Fantarl Athane from the Anzari clan comes to ask you if you know the details of Orlanth the Justice Bringer's story, and if you will share them with his clan. We wish to improve our ability to move about in the realm of the gods, he says. He reminds you that you owe his clan a favor. So you have several options here, and depending on what you do, they will react accordingly, because this is a strategy game. It's just presented in like a choose your own adventure type form. And again, I absolutely love the artwork of this game. We do owe them a favor, so I suppose I will tell them. He thanked us and departed. After Fantar left, our god talkers said that our clan magic had suffered because we aided the irreverent. They said that Rostakos, the chief of the Anzari, is so impious that the gods want nothing to do with him. Well, I wish I had known that at the time. Oh well. It cost us 1 magic, but that's not a huge deal. I think I have a couple left over. So let's go look at the map. This is just the map as we know it. You can explore. I don't have anybody exploring right now. I have successfully beaten the Heron out of their traditional homeland. So the Heron were right here, and I basically was going at them relentlessly after they attacked me unprovoked. And so they decided to relocate to the other side of the mountains. They're safe here because the Blackrock clan won't let me through. The Blackrock clan aren't friendly to me, but they're not hostile enough to attack. So they won't let me pass, but they're not going to do anything to me, so I've just kind of let it be for the time being. The lore will tell you more about the lore. It'll open up this little like ebook through the Steam browser. So let's get rid of that. Saga is basically just a recount of everything you've done so far. And then there's a manual and controls and stuff. I won't touch that. Let's go ahead and maybe do a raid just so you guys can see what that's like. I don't know who I want to raid. I'm not really hostile toward anybody. We can try these guys. So the High Ord. They're known for their tradition of female chieftains. Their chief is Janessa. We're feuding with them. Let's go 16, about 120 here, and then the auxiliaries will do about 25. I've had pretty good luck with these numbers. The auxiliaries are like female healers. The footmen are generic foot troops, and the weapon thanes are your elite soldiers. And little events will happen in the battles that involve some of these guys. So let's go ahead. You know what? Let's call on the Gorin, since the Gorin are right there. So let's see. They sent 20 warriors. We were spotted by their patrols. And our 16 weapon thanes and 120 footmen are facing 11 weapon thanes and 188 spearmen. Yikes. Let's make some sacrifices. Our objective will be to plunder. Or should we just try to kill as many as possible? I think plundering might be smarter. You know what? No, let's take some captives. Or should we burn their stead? Let's burn their steads. And then you can choose different tactics. I've had pretty good luck with maneuver, so I'm going to stick with that. And so this is the extent of the battles, basically. So it gives you kind of a recap of what happens. We burned 2 steads before the Hiredlings mustered enough warriors to force battle. They attacked while we were still sacrificing. So apparently we decided to burn their fields and then do our prayers. That seems a little bit odd to me. They charged right into the trap we laid for them. So we were busy praying and sacrificing, but we had a trap. So it was a feint, you know. That's one thing I've found a little bit odd about this game is sometimes these don't make sense. I mean, they make sense according to the options you picked, but they still sometimes they don't add up in the order they show. There was bitter fighting. Their magic was stronger than ours, but we were not dismayed. After we drove the hirelings off the battlefield, we burned 5 more steads. Our share of the plunder was 19 cows. Due to their prompt healing, our auxiliaries kept 3 warriors from dying and patched up 6 of the wounded. So we lost 4 footmen, or farmers, basically, and had 5 wounded. They lost about double that, plus a wounded weapon thing. Okay, and so now is the end of the year. Our reputation has gone up a bit. We're closer to king than stick picker. And so here's where you allocate your magic points. And again, these guys will all offer advice. Our God Talker forecast that the next harvest will be a good one. Okay. They were a little surprised to report that they saw a few arguments within the clan. Okay, that's good. He's letting me know that we can't perform any war rituals, so yeah, that's been removed. There's usually 2 boxes there. He wants me to devote 3 to diplomacy, and then allocate to war, trade, and mysteries, and then leave a little bit in reserve. I always leave at least 1 in reserve. But 3 in diplomacy, he is like the diplomat, so that makes sense that he would want me to do that. Oh, we had 20 children grow up too. Let's see what he wants. 1 to quest and then perform a hero quest. And he wants me to put a trickster in the ring too. I might consider that. This guy's been sort of a wet blanket. All he ever says is that this guy should be a devotee of Elmal, and we would be so much better off if he was. But I'm not convinced. We're doing pretty well as it is. So yeah, I've been considering replacing him. Let's see. She suggests, or he, I can't tell if that's a man or a woman. The face is very male, but the hair seems female. 2 to health magic. And he wants me to go crops. They all obviously favor one thing over another. And he's a warrior. He's pretty indifferent about this. He's the best warrior I've seen so far. He's like a legendary in combat or something. He's really, really good. He's only like 24 too. So he'll be around for a while. I'm going to do 1 to crops, 1 to diplomacy, 1 to health, 1 to herds, 1 to mysteries, 1 to quests. You know, let's just do... I don't want to do that. So let's get rid of trade. We'll leave 1 in reserve and do 1 to everything but trade and war. I think that should be adequate. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's the omen that they were talking about that's preventing me from investing in war. Okay, we're being raided by horse nomads. There are 151 of them, all mounted. Luckily, our patrol spotted them, and all 18 weapon things met them, as well as 120 knight of the feared. Basically the farmers. This looks pretty bad. They're not that hard to drive off, but they do inflict pretty heavy damage usually. I'm gonna use my magic. I'll make 1 sacrifice. We're gonna try to drive them off, and we'll stick with our maneuvers. Charging a full cavalry army is probably not a great idea. Skirmishing mounted archers is not a good idea. We're not going to be able to evade them when they're on horseback, so I think maneuvering is the best way to do it. We had to maneuver under a devastating barrage of arrows as our forces engage with the horse nomads. Barsons notices that a detachment of riders is trying to sneak completely around and get at us from behind. What should he do? If they do get at us from behind, we're in trouble. So maybe he's, like I said, the best soldier we've seen. So I think maybe we should have him try to drive them off, just to keep them from flanking us. Huh. Does he charge immediately with whoever's nearby? Gather an equal force before charging. Gather a larger force before charging. Let's just have him go right at it. If he takes too long, they're gonna beat us to the punch. After a brief engagement, the horse nomads galloped away towards our settlement, magic gleaming from the hooves of their steeds. The riders broke into a stead and took 10 women, children, and old folk captive. Bummer. So yeah, we took pretty heavy losses there. We actually inflicted a lot more than they did, but let's see. So there was bitter fighting. Our magic smote them mightily. That's good. We drove the horse nomads off, and their survivors left without plundering our Tula. We captured 31 horses. Awesome. With their careful attention, our auxiliaries kept 2 warriors from dying and patched up one of the wounded. Okay, so we could have potentially lost 10 there. So yeah, I mean, that kind of sucks, but it went a lot better than it could have. And so that is basically the game. It's turn-based, so it goes by season. You can advance the seasons here, or performing any action in here will advance it. Let's just look at Reorganize really quick so you know what I'm talking about when I said that. You can choose your clan type down here. You can choose your leadership, and actually, let's see, who are they suggesting we add? This guy. He was actually already part of our circle, but he was getting into a lot of trouble and I had to remove him. So I don't know who would be a better replacement. I'm not sure if that's a man or a woman, to be honest. The name seems female, but to me it looked like a man. I would really like somebody who worships... Oh, he worships El Mal. Who does the other guy worship? This guy. He likes Lancor Mai. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his. His customs are renowned, but I don't know what exactly that does for me. He has a lot more use, it seems like, and people keep suggesting I put him back in. I might just do that. But there's a lot of options, and you can use these guys for other things, even if they're not part of your circle. You can send them off as diplomats and things like that. Here's Varston, so he's renowned in combat. Right, let's go ahead and remove... Where did he go? Let's remove you and throw you back in. And we'll reorganize. And of course, yeah, he's a trickster. His job is to do these kinds of things. So yeah, that is basically King of Dragons Pass in a nutshell. I really enjoyed the game. I played it for about an hour prior to this and didn't realize I had played for so long, because I like to get a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about before I do one of these videos, but I usually don't play for that long. I usually give it about 15 minutes just to learn the controls, so I definitely enjoyed this game quite a bit. You guys have only seen a small fraction of all the random events that can take place. They're pretty interesting. The storytelling is really, really good. The artwork is incredible. I really enjoy the game so far. So hopefully you guys are interested in it too. As always, if you are, let me know in the comments and we'll consider doing a Let's Play series on it. I may do one anyways if we free up some space, but I don't know when that'll happen. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and break off this particular video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the game as much as I did. If you did, please let me know in the comments. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys back here for my next video.